Can you have an unbelievable day's fishing with just a quid's worth of bait? This morning I headed down to Lidl's and grabbed myself a tin of sweetcorn. This was actually 62 pence. So today I'm going to set myself a challenge. I want to know, can I catch 50 pound of fish on 60 pence of sweetcorn? Today we're at White Springs and we're on the pleasure lake, my favourite place to go pleasure fishing, and I'm going to put it into practice. I'm going to give myself 4 hours, a couple of different methods to catch 50 pound of fish on 62 pence of sweetcorn. And I'm hopefully going to prove you don't have to break the bank to have an absolute mega day on the bank. So let's get some kit on the peg and get on with the session. Right, so we are on the box. So first of all, I've got my single tin of sweetcorn. Oh, can you believe that? The bloody thing has come off it. So we're going to have to bash that in with a rock. Can't find a rock, so scissors are going to have to do it. Come on. What a disastrous start. Come on, pop loose. Oh, come on, boys, please, man. Not the best of starts to a session, but we've got there. Let's make sure we get every last grain out of here. Right, done. Not the best of starts, so what I'm going to have to do to keep bites coming is have a couple of different lines on the go. So what I've got set up, which I'm going to start on for the first part of the session, I've got a bomb with a quick stop hair on it, and I'm just going to fish that around that little island. I'm sure we'll get an early pull or two, and what's nice about that is because it's a hook bait only, we don't have to feed any corn there. So that's going to be the start. I expect to catch an odd fish on that. And then into the lake, a really good method on here is waggler and corn. It catches so many fish here in the winter. So I've got my 11-foot Aventus set up there, 3,000 reel, 4-pound drag line. I've got a 4-gram waggler, and again, I've got a 16s SLWG on there with a hair rig on it. So we're going to fish that long into the lake, and through the day, this thing is going to be worth its weight in gold because we're going to be loose feeding everything through a catapult. And what I've also done, 13 metres, slightly to my right, I've seen an odd fish top there, so I'm just going to ping a little bit of corn in. I've set up a bit of a rig. To catch 50 pound in 4 hours, we're going to have to catch some carp. We can't do it with silvers alone, so my gear's beefed up a little bit because if we do have some carp, I want to be able to get them in and not have to play them all around the peg. So I've got some, that's a white prototype elastic from Guru. It's like a grey hydro, like a 12, but it's really nice. But if I do get a skimmer, we'll still get plenty come out, but I've got plenty of beans in that if we have a few carp. Again, my favourite 0.4 bobby, 017 mainline. I've just got a strung bulk there, one dropper, and I've got some 014 and a 14 F1 pelt on there. Nice big hook when you're fishing with corn, so you've got plenty of hook exposed to whack into those bites. So that's going to be the 3-pronged attack. Start on the bomb, prep the waggler line, finish up on the pole line. That's going to be the way we're going to do it if you're going to do it at all. We're starting to get there. I'm going to go in 11:15. I'm going to finish 2:45. So the bait's there, 1 tin of corn, a couple of different lines. I've seen an odd fish top, and I've got to be honest, it does look good for a couple of bites. So I'm excited to start. I reckon we'll have a great day, and hopefully we can get that 50 pound target. Right, we are just before the all in. 5 seconds ago. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get going. Right, so what I've done, I've already got my grain of corn on there. And I reckon a great starting point is just going to be just off that island, just on the bottom there. So let's flick that in, try and get a good cast to start. That's about as good as you can get it. So that's in. And I'm going to have like 6-minute chucks on this. I probably have 3 or 4 chucks on there. And I'm going to start pinging some corn on our waggler line. Now the good thing with corn is you don't need to feed loads of corn to get a few bites. That's what's so good about it, especially and it like comes into its own in winter, like fishing corn. When you go to places like White Acres on the festivals down there, the winter festivals, corn is hard to beat a lot of the time. So I'm just going to ping a bit of corn out there. Now the only thing with corn is it's hard to feed it quite accurately. I'm going to ping a little bit of corn there, and through the day I'm literally going to flick an odd 2 or 3 grains of corn just there on my pole line. That's perfect, that is. So I've got 2 lines to feed. This line will just fish itself. I'm hoping we'll get an early pull or 2 on this, and that will really set this up. If we can catch a few, like if we can catch 3 this first hour, just chucking this out, I think we'll be on, because I'm pretty sure later on in the session, from about 1 o'clock on, we'll definitely catch a few, either on the waggler or on the pole. But we'll see. So let's just settle into this chuck. Oh, we're off. Oh, no way. Drop back, nothing there. How isn't that on then? I can't believe that. Then it's like a kipper. But a good sign that there's an odd fish about. Let's chuck another piece out there. Try and get it back in the same spot. That's exactly where that first chuck went in. No, I don't know why there wasn't anything on there. So just tighten up on that bomb. I want to bring that rod tip a bit lower. There we are. And then what I'm doing, I know it's a little bit sad, but I'm trying to pick out a couple of grains the same size, just so when I loose feed them, we can get them as close together as possible. And normally these pegs here, like I've picked a really good peg to go on. There's no point going on a rubbish peg. So I'm on one of the better pegs on the lake. Peg 5, this one. Brilliant area, winter or summer. There's always some fish around this bit here. Just got to be careful I don't go mad with the feed. Let's just knock that off. So we're on 48 there now. So we'll give this 6 minutes, see if we can get dragged in. Oh, here we go. We're in. Second chuck. Go on. Third chuck, sorry. Missed a bite the first chuck. I chucked it in again. Not a sign. Chucked that in, and that's been in there 30 seconds. And we've got a carp on. Now, I always thought we would have a good, get away to a good start on this. And it looks like we're going to. There's normally always carp around that island, and unbelievably, with how nice the weather is today, and it's a Friday, we're the only anglers on the lake. Can't quite believe that. Normally this lake is an absolute nightmare to get on, especially like on a Friday, with people fishing the weekend, they'll stay down. But we've got it all to ourselves at the minute, which is nice. Nice little carp that is, look. There we go. Oh, bad netting, but we got it. What a start. 30-second chuck. It's probably 3.5 pounds. So we'll put the carp in that one, and we'll put those silvers in the other one. Just put that net out the way. It's unbelievable, like on a lake sort of this size, how they'll just like find a single grain of corn on the bottom. But this is the time of year where corn comes into its own, especially like carp fishing, big F1s, big silverfish, they love corn. Let's try that. So, 56. So let's try that for, I'm just going to give them 4-minute chucks I think at the minute. That was a 30-second bite that one, so let's give them 4 minutes. I think obviously location is key because that first bite was pretty quick but we missed. And then sat there for 6 minutes, never had a sign. Chucked it back in within 30 seconds I've got one, so I don't think I need to bore them on too much. Right, we are 25 minutes in now already, which is quite unbelievable really, and we've still only had that one fish and only had that, like, I've had 2 or 3 chucks since we caught that fish and not had another sign. But I'm going to stick on it. I've just chucked slightly to the left this time. We might get a little bit of background noise now because the boys have got some work to do over there, which is fair enough once the fishery is quiet. But I'm going to give this another 2 chucks because I want to make sure, like, I'm building up that waggler line. But what I'm definitely not going to do is panic, because this time of the year, early afternoon always seems to be the best time to catch a few fish. And sort of like later in the day, the mornings are never quite as good. It's always slow early doors, so I'm not panicking. That's why I wanted to just fish this bomb and corn to start with, see if we could just nick an odd fish in and around that island. Not to say we might just catch 2 in 2 chucks, you just don't know. That can happen very often on you. But it gives me a good chance just to build up my waggler line and my pole line. So I've just been dinking like 2 grains of corn in on each. Obviously we haven't got loads of bait, so I'm not going to start putting pouchfuls in there. But the good thing with corn is you don't need to feed like that. You can be really negative and catch loads of fish. So we're on 2 minutes on this chuck at the minute. And I give it another 4 and then re-chuck it, I think. Might even be worth a chuck into the open water as well. Like, I don't want to ignore that open water because I have seen an odd fish top in the open water, so that's always worth a go. And I might actually do that. After this chuck, I might just have a chuck just in the middle, see what happens there. Oh, hello. Oh, that dropped back then. Oh, that'll be on. There we go. That's a chuck in open water, look. First chuck in. 3 minutes and we're in. It's unbelievable, isn't it? Just like, you'd think they'd be all around that island. But that is mega. That's a good sign that we're going to catch a few on a waggler as well. Fantastic bite too. Let's bang his head there. Just loosen that clutch off a touch. We're just over half hour into the session. We've got our second one on, which is good. Like, I thought if we can catch 3 or 4 that first hour for like £10, we'll have a right good chance of doing this. You never know, we might just keep chucking this bomb and getting enough pulls to keep us on it. Another one of those little, oh, it was a nice fish. Little short fat ones. Oh, no way. And he's come off. at the net. How was that come off there? They never come off a QM1. And that bomb come down and smack me in the back of the hand. Ah, no way. That is a disaster. Right, let's chuck that back in then. Oh, he's right ready for netting as well, that fish. Not ideal. Oh, is that on? Yes, I think we found the honey pot here. That's been in there again, 3 minutes. Just coming up to. You know, like I said earlier on, location in winter is absolute key. You know, we could have just kept chucking around that island, not caught no more. We've had just 2 chucks in the open water there. And it's gone round twice with carp. Location is definitely key in the winter. You know, you could, like I said earlier on, we might just find a little nest of them. You could catch 20 fish doing this. You might not even pick anything else up. But I'm sure at some point we'll catch a few on our waggler as well. So let's try and make sure we get this one in. And play it a bit smoother than the last one. Oh yeah, peas in the pod there. There you go. Get in the net. Oh, it's better, man. Nice fish, that one too. A bit bigger than the last one, actually. He was never coming off that one. It's funny how you get an odd one just pop off like that. Oh, he's nicked my hook link as well. Nicked my hair rig. So there we go. We're still on track. What I've been doing, I'm making sure I've got another hook link done up, ready to go. Drop this right back in where we've had those last couple of pulls. It's just slightly to the right of my waggler line. There we go. Beautiful that is. That is fantastic, in fact. Oh, there we go. Literally wound that in, chucked it back in again, and that's gone instantly round. I was just looking at the time thinking, ooh, we could have done with our carp. I want to try and get to £10 the first hour. Well, if we get this one in, we will be there. That was a super quick bite that. That was on double corn that time. Let's just change the angle on him because he's hammering off to the left there. But just all I done that time is just chucked probably 2 meters to the right of where I chucked before, and they're instantly on it. So obviously when you catch one or two, you just bumping that shoal of fish around. So you just got to keep chucking in and around them. Just keep trying to locate them all the time. Ooh, they don't have fight in this lake as well. Lunatic carp, especially these like smaller size ones. These 3-4 pounders are the worst for fighting. Yes. Line's just wrapped on his dorsal fin there, look. No wonder he's going ballistic. Come on. There we are, let's come loose. Come on in. Thing is, when you've lost one, you're a little bit nervous then. Yes. There we go. So that's going to push us up probably over £10 to be honest, which is good. Now if we can catch another one before the hour, we'll be right on point then. Go on, off you go. Almost lost the cowing rod then. I was just resetting that camera, glanced down, and that rod was almost off the rest. Now, business is definitely starting to pick up here now. I'm almost contemplating stopping feeding that pole line, because it feels like there's a lot of fish out in the middle of the lake now at the minute. And I think we'll catch them on the waggler. If they're going to come in to feed, I think they'll come onto that waggler line before they actually reach the pole line. Jeez, that went off like a prom dress, that bite then. I thought the rod was going to go with it. Typical, every time you get up to do something, it goes off. I think we've landed on a little pod of these, like, they're not stockies, they've been in here a couple of years, but they're like peas in a pod they are. They're all sort of the same size and they all look pretty similar. Right. That's it. That's another, well, at least £4 that one. A bit bigger than I give him credit for, that fish. Nice looking fish. They're as clean as a whistle in this lake here. I mean, just try and hold him up. Like dinner plates. There's loads of these in here. Oh, he's a bit lively. Let's pop him back. Well, you can't knock this, can you? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to carry on with this. I'm just going to keep following this pod around. So I'll chuck this. I've had 2 pulls now in the same place there. I'm actually on a clip bed, I didn't even know. So we'll just keep bumping this pod around until we stop getting bites, basically, I think. So sit tight on this and I'll catch up with you when we're on the hour mark. Right, we are on the hour. So we've had 4 carp, which is mega. Like I said at the start, 3 or 4 fish the first hour. I said it was going to set this up perfectly. And we've got 4. We've lost one, but that's what happens sometimes. But we've had 4 like decent ones. I reckon we've got 4 of them. We'll probably go around £15, I reckon, which is mega. So we only need £35 now this last 3 hours. Well, I say only. It could shut up shop, you just don't know. But I've had a 5-minute chuck here now on a new spot, and it hasn't gone. And it seems like all the bites, up to 3 minutes, anything after 3 minutes, it just doesn't seem to go round. So I'm going to change this hook length. I'm making sure I've got a couple on the go. I'm going to have another chuck now with a bit of double corn. But I've been chucking like more and more to the right, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to go the other way now. Start chucking to the left a bit more. So let's chuck this one in. Because it's pretty simple to see when you're anywhere near a fish, you get a super quick bite. So there's no need to just keep sitting there, you know, having 10-12 minute chucks, you know, for no signs. I'd sooner chuck a little bit less time and keep moving around trying to find them. Like this might go round straight away, we might chuck in and get another. But it's going well. I'm loose feeding our waggler line all the time, just 2 or 3 grains of corn, but we've got a nice little area building up there, and I have seen an odd fish bubble up on it. I've stopped feeding my pole line just because I don't want to be loose feeding bait there if we're not going to catch it. I really feel like we're going to catch a load on the waggler, but I've always got the option, if I need to, we can start refeeding that pole line again. But when you've only got 1 tin of corn, you've got to make sure you're making the right decisions with what you're going to feed where. So, what's that fishing? I'm just going to bait this hair rig up again, because when you get a bite, if you haven't got another hair rig going, all of a sudden you've got nothing ready to chuck back out again. So at least if I get a quick bite, I can sling this straight back out. I'll just put a single green on that. But that double green has been quite nice. We've had a few fish on that now. See, I've just seen a little bubble pimp up there over our waggler line. I think we're going to catch a load on that, I've got to be honest. Hope we haven't jinxed ourselves, but I think that's going to be good for a couple of bites. And we might catch some nice big skimmers and bream and bits and pieces just to boost our weight a little bit. But we're on track, like £15 the first hour. I reckon that's really, really good. So let's have 2 chucks on this line, and then it might be worth having a chuck on that waggler. Up. Here we go. I had a chuck to the left, didn't go, and I've just chucked further to the right again than when we had those last 2 fish, and it's gone round. After about 3 minutes again, there's definitely a bit of a pattern starting to build up there. But I was just like thinking this is going to be my last chuck in on the bomb, because I need to pick that waggler up. I can't like let myself get drawn in on this and lose time, because we're an hour and 10 in now. Because every time you don't have a fish on this, it's like another 6-7 minutes wasted. Whoa, boy. That's going ballistic. But if I've had one there, then I've got to have one more chuck on that same spot, because they seem to come in pairs. When you get one, you seem to get another one off that same mark. Now that was in line with that big old oak tree to my right, so we've probably covered 10 metres there from in front of us where we started and swung around to our right. But it seems to be, if you don't get one on that first chuck in, you don't get one. Who's screeching over there now? There you are, nice fish. Oh. Yes, right in the bottom lip there. Come on. Nice fish again, probably £4 again, I'd have thought that one. Absolute peas in a pod. Just slipping back in there. So like I said, I'm going to have one more chuck, but if it don't go this time, I'm going to have a look on that waggler, because I always feel like you've got more of a chance of a good run where you're loose feeding some bait, like where you're drawing fish in, rather than like what we're doing now. We're just basically just trying to locate where they are. So let's have a chuck over there. There you go. So we'll give this, if this doesn't go this time, I'm definitely going to pick that waggler rod up, I think. Because we might get a chance of catching like some big skimmers, an odd carp, we might go on there and just have a lovely run till the end. But if it doesn't happen, we've always got this to drop back on if we need to. I'm just flicking a few grains, like that was an absolutely horror show of a feed that time. That's a bit better. You're not trying to get them on a 10p piece, you're looking for a bit of a spread. So we are set. We'll give that now until just after midday. See where we are. Right then. That hasn't gone that second time, so what I want to do, I need to get on that waggler line, I think. I've seen an odd fish starting to like blow up on it, so let's have a quick chuck. If they don't go, it's not the end of the world, we can always chuck that bomb again. But I really feel like there's a bite or two to be had on this. So let's see. We've been feeding it really nice. A couple of grains every couple of minutes. And to be honest, we've still got a boatload of corn left here, so maybe I'm being a little bit too frugal with it. but sooner be like that than run out. So I'm just going to put a smallish grain on. Start. I'll start with a 4 gram waggler, but we might be on a 5 if... oh, I don't know, that's quite nice actually. Now it's absolutely flat calm, which is nice. I might have to put a peaked hat on as well in a minute, I think. Because that sun is right in our eyes now. I'm not going to sink the line for a minute, that's just sitting lovely and straight there. So just let those droppers go down. I've got to be honest, I am expecting a couple of bites on this. Just twitch the float. That, like fishing corn, like lifting and dropping it is absolutely deadly, and it's the same on the waggler, like just twitching the corn back. Just to get hold of a fish's eye. There's obviously an odd fish there. And I want to feed again, but I know what's going to happen. As soon as I put that rod down and pick that catapult up, it's going to go under and we're going to miss it. So I'm not going to feed until I wind it back in. Right, so I'm going to ping some corn on this, and then I'm going to chuck it back in. Got to be an odd fish on this for us. That's what we need really. We need this, like, we need a few bites on this, and then when it goes quiet we need to be able to... Oh, that went then straight away. And then we need to be able to like chuck the bomb, nick one, just to rest this. But that was definitely a bite. And again, like, quick, same as on the bomb, like, pretty much as soon as it settled up. So I'm going to try and pick out a nice grain of corn. Just using an 11-foot rod, but really I think because it's quite deep out there I could do with a 12, but this is alright, this is doing the job for us. There we go. Nice. Knew we'd get one on this. This is such a deadly like method. Wintertime waggler and corn is hard to beat, especially if like fishing for like a nice mixed bag of like carp and big silverfish. I think that's a carp that is straight away, which is a fantastic sign. Ooh. This is a proper nice bit of fishing. It's not often you get days like this in the winter where it's like sunny, flat, calm, still quite mild, and there's plenty of bites to be had. So I'm just gonna have to take my time a little bit more on the waggler than the bomb because I'm fishing a little bit lighter hook length on 4 pound main line, so it's a nice looking fish. Oh yeah, nice. Oh, slightly bigger too, that one. He's right in the sun now, typical. I got to pop up there, haven't he? Can't see him. There we go. Got him. Oh yeah, it's a nice fish that. Getting on for £5 that one. Oh, there's a lovely fish. Tell you what, we're starting to get things moving here now. I reckon we got 20 odd pound, and we're coming up to an hour and a half in. We are bang on now, hour and a half in. And I've had a carp and a nice skimmer on the waggler. I did expect a few skimmers, to be honest, because this is deadly for catching skimmers. What have we got now? I think we've got 6 carp on that skimmer. So those 6 carp are going to go, I reckon they're going to go a low 20 odd pound. And then the skimmer £1.5 pound. So we might have like 23 pound, maybe 24. It's hard to tell how big those carp are. But it's looking good. We've missed a bite on this. We've had a carp. We've had a nice big skimmer. It's looking good. This is our first look in on this. Really, really pleased with how this is going at the minute. And it's just a mint bit of fishing. And our bait bill is going to come to 62 pence. And I'm looking how much we've got left there now. And because I've been so frugal with the feeding, and like we fished a bomb for an hour, just a single hook bait. I've hardly used any bait at all, so I think I'm looking at the time now, hour and a half in. We've got 2.5 hours to go. I should have more than enough corn to be able to start pinging that pole line as well. Because the last half hour, we might get a real good run of carp on that. But the good thing is, if these 2 lines don't kick off, I think there's plenty of fish to be caught on that bomb just by chucking it all over the peg. We're on our own today, so we can literally chuck it wherever we want. Yes. That's a carp. Wait a little bit for that bite. But it doesn't matter when you get latched into one of these. Oh yes. Oh, that's nice, that is. Right, come on. Get in there. Now we're flying now. We are flying. Another good fish, like, £4 plus, I'd said. So I thought we've got, getting up to £30 now. Cheers. lad. Oh yes, proper one. Nice fish that. Right, we are just past the halfway point, a couple of minutes past, and I've got to be honest, we are absolutely smashing this now. I don't know exactly what we've got, but I reckon we're going to need another maybe £17 to absolutely knock it out the park, but I really think we're getting right up there now. This waggler line has been unbelievable. The last fish, as you've seen there, that was the best fish of the session, great big one. But what I've decided to do, because we've got so much corn left, look, what I'm thinking is I'm going to feed the pole line. I've been feeding it, but what I've been doing, we're on this waggler line, I'm not going to change nothing on here because it's so good. I've just been like pinging 2 grains of corn on it, pretty regular. But on the pole line, I've been feeding like 8 grains of corn, but not as regular. So I want to keep this exactly the same just because it's so good. I'd be foolish to start, hammering corn in there and blow it. It's so steady. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing on this. But hopefully we'll have a grand finale on that pole. The last maybe 40 minutes, we might be able to drop in there and catch a few on that. But so far, it's been absolutely amazing. Lovely weather. Like, we've got loads of bait left. We've got a 62p bait bill, and we've only been fishing just over 2 hours, and already we're going to be close on our £50 target. Maybe I should have said £80. That would have sounded a bit more impressive, wouldn't it? But this has been absolutely amazing. Like, we've sat on the pleasure lake down at White Springs. If you ever want to go somewhere pleasure fishing, this lake is absolutely amazing. It's got a bit of everything in it, loads of carp, up to 20 odd pound. We've actually caught one on a paste fishing video here, which was 21 pound. That's the biggest carp I think I've ever caught. That was just over there on peg 13. So there's great big units in there. There's loads of like these pasty sized carp we've been catching, 3 to 5 pound. And it's one of the best silverfish waters I've ever fished for like big silvers, big-eyed chub, perch, skimmers, big roach. So if you're ever in the area, Pond of Delice, drop down in here because it's, as you've seen today, what an incredible venue it is. And that's another one of those little, I say little, they're probably between 3 and 5 pound a pop. Little peas in a pod carpies, huh? Ooh. Here's luck. And he's not at all happy. Come on. There we go. Yes. There's your grain of corn in his mouth there, look. So I'll just quickly nick him off. Like, I don't know how big that is. It could be sort of 3 pound, but it could be, close on 4. But we'll just keep dropping them in. I might even chuck another net in a minute. There he goes. And just before I chuck out again, I'm going to ping a little bit of corn. Keep our line fed. Don't need loads, obviously, because we're catching absolutely lovely here at the minute. Just going to put a new hook length on there. And I think, especially on the waggler, herring and corn, I think it's an amazing way of presenting your bait, because if you can keep that line tight often, they just hook themselves. You don't miss so many bites like you do just side hooking a grain of corn. So just nick that on there. and then all I'm doing, I'm just pushing my bait needle in the back, and I'm just picking out like a nice, sort of a nice sized grain of corn. Just like that. There he is. Perfect. Yeah. Now what I've been doing is not sinking the line straight away, because I've had two where it's sort of, now it's just gone almost on the drop. So I'm going to give him a chance to see it. Put it in the shop window for him for a second. And then I feel like that's settled up now. So what I'll do now, I'll just quickly plunge the rod and then turn that reel handle a couple of times. You can see there the line's just completely sunk now. And now we just sit patiently here now and wait for hopefully another carp. Oh, just like that. It's absolutely rigid there now. There we go. Oh. And they are lovely fish. Look at them. Don't tell me they aren't some of the nicest fish you've ever seen. Just wrapped himself around the line now. Come on. What's that? Ah, the hook's come out the net. Nice, but I mean, how's that for one, look? And they nice, them. Joking me. There's one on there. Right, you're not going to quite believe this. Oh, I almost knocked on my sweetcorn over. Now on that last little piece to camera, I said how good hair rigging was. Now I've just chucked that out. I thought, oh, let me just chuck another net in. I've come back and it's locked up. Now you'll only ever get that with a hair rig. And I think that goes to prove perfectly there the effectiveness of hair rigging bait on the waggler, the bomb. And to be honest, it's probably something that should really do more on the pole, because I chucked that out. It wasn't my best chuck. My hook length actually hit the pole behind me. So I've just got up, moved my pole, put a new keep net in, looked back, and it was like the rod was just going and going and going, and one's picked it up. So when you're fishing for these better fish, definitely have a hair rig on there, because like that's proven, you don't even have to be eyes on the ball. You can still catch a few. That is unbelievable. Right, we've only got 45 minutes to go and I have had an absolutely shocking last hour. I reckon I've had 4 come off on the waggler. Like, one broke me on the strike where I struck too hard. Another one just sort of pulled off under, well, I've had 2 pull off under my feet. Another one I've hooked and I started swimming off, come off. And I got one in and I just caught a skimmer. But with 50 minutes to go, it was plain sailing, to be honest. And I thought we were going to absolutely destroy this. But due to that bad sort of 45 minutes, I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we need a little run on this pole. So I'm going to jump on the pole now. I've been feeding it nice. I expect, well, I'm hoping there's going to be an odd fish there, because if there's not, we're going to be backs against the wall job here. So this is going to be the first look in on the pool. I've been priming it up. I'm hoping we're going to get a bit of an arrival on this, because that's what I haven't done straight away. I need to put my back shot down a bit. I got up and chucked a new net in, and we've caught 1 fish since then, which is not ideal. So I'm just going to flick my rig out in a straight line, like that. Now let's hope we can catch 2 or 3 on this last sort of 40-45 minutes to get us over the line, because it was absolutely plain sailing halfway through. But so often in fishing, when you think you've got it absolutely nailed, it can often go tits up on you. So let's just sink that back shot down. There we are. So I've been preparing this line now for a good, a good hour and 20. So I expect if there's going to be any fish on it, we should catch them quite quick, like we done on the waggler. But what I'll have to make sure I'm doing is keep feeding our waggler line. Sure, I had a little indication there then. Let's just try that again. This is the time of day now they should start coming in on this pole line. I feel like, just as that sun is starting to go down there, it's getting a bit lower in the sky, it's not so bright. There's got to be a chance of a fish or 2 on the pole here. Now what I could do, we've got so much corn left. I mean, look at all that. I don't reckon we've used 1/3 of a tin today. And we've got getting up, we're getting up towards £50. We're not going to be far away from it at all. But I think we need another couple of fish on this just to finish off, just to make sure. But there's not a million bites on this, it feels like. Might be a case of those fish are out in the lake. But what I've also got the option, I could do this last sort of maybe half an hour, because I foul hooked a few and stuff on that wag, and it's all gone a little bit funny. I couldn't chuck that little bomb over the top. I think that'll be worth a pull or 2. But we'll see what happens. We'll give this 10 minutes. If this doesn't go, I think we'll have a little go on that bomb over a loose fed corn line. Because I've got to be honest, I thought this would have gone by now. What it might be worth, there we go. That's a bite. What it might be worth doing, I was going to say, is just spread those shot out a little bit. Just so it drops a little bit nicer. But that's definitely a carp again. And that's why I wanted to use that white elastic. Because you can imagine hooking them on really light stuff here, the way they fight, they just drag you all around the lake. But that's a good sign that we've had a bite there. That means we should catch 1 or 2 more there now, I think. So I'll just keep everything nice and low. Just hold on to him whilst he's out there. I won't strip any elastic out yet. Just have a look, where is he? That's foul hooked again, that is. I reckon that's foul hooked in the tail. Now it's strange all of a sudden, like that. I foul hooked a couple on the waggler, and I've dropped it on the pole and foul hooked one now. I think it's foul hooked anyway, is it? Or is it just wrap around? It's hard to tell. But he's having a good go wherever he is. No, he's in the mouth. He's in the mouth. Oh, look. Common, is it? Come on. Yeah, nice common, look. He is. Lovely. Oh, that's encouraging. That's the first common we've had today, I think. Look at him, look. Dandy. And the hook is just nicked in there. Look at that. Almost fell out. Come on. Out you come. That's it. So just side hooking the corn with this. Nice big hook. Here's like that. And I'm going to spread out these shot. Just so we get a bit more of a drop going on here. There we go. It's better. Right, let's try that. If we can catch another 2 or 3 on this, I think we'll be thereabouts. Oh, yes. Skimmer. But as you can see there, there's still plenty of elastic coming out. A good bit of elastic coming out there. Skimmer. Hooked right in the middle of the top lip, look at that. Come on, give me that hook. And again, just side hook him, nice big hook. Just pinging a bit of corn. Oh, God, that dink straight away then. They definitely like that corn being loose fed like that. That back shot to go down. There we go. Now that was literally on the drop, that. And that's why you want those rigs strung out when you're fishing with corn, for sure. That was a perfect illustration of why you want it strung out. You know, even on the bomb, our bites on the bomb were like really quick. It's like where a fish has seen it go down past him. Same on the waggler. And this pole line's been no different. There you go. Come on. There we go. Nice. Good fish. Surprisingly heavy these are. He's hooked well inside the mouth. Come on, give me that hook. There we go. Nice. Oh. Now that was literally on the lift and drop, that. I was charging off with that as well. Where's that going now? Can't be in the mouth, can it? Yeah, I reckon it is. This pole line's been really good, to be fair, for a nice little run of skimmers there. For two carp, well, a carp, and if I get this one in, another. To be honest, everything's been mega. The bomb has been mega, the waggler's been incredible, and then to finish up on this, you know, we're only fishing probably with a short. I got a short number 3, and so we're probably only fishing 12.5 meters there. No, but maybe 12 because I haven't got a dolly button either. Look at that thing! Look. They absolutely love it, don't they? Another one of those little commony ones. Come on, up you come. Come on, there he is, look. Oh, there's a heinous bit of netting. There he is, look. He just will not give up. No. There we are. We got that one. Thought he's had that down. Neat. Right, we are coming up on the final few seconds of the session now. So if we get one, it's going to be a last gasp, but I've got to be honest, I'm pretty sure we've done it. This little run we've had on the pole, I'm sure that'll push us over the line. Well, I hope it will. I hope I'm pretty right with, in my mind, what I've been sort of counting these fish at. So we'll give this, got another couple of seconds to go. And then we'll knock it on the head, but we've had an absolutely amazing session. Right, that's a lot. We've had an amazing session, you know, on literally, we fed no bait. I wouldn't be surprised if we've got a half a tin of corn left. You know, look, that's what we've got. Look at all that corn we've got left there. There's at least half a tin there. So we could have been a bit more positive for the feed, but we haven't had to be. To be honest, it's just been absolutely mega. So I'm going to get some kit packed away, and then we'll get the tripod out, weigh in, and see if we've actually done it. Right, here we go then. Let's get weighed in. Let's put the small net on first. This is the net we chucked in sort of halfway through, thinking I was going to absolutely empty it. So just bring them out. You can see there, scales are 0. Now this is going to be the hardest bit, is putting them in here. You see that? There's 4 in there, so let's weigh these 4 first. 2, 3, 4. Look at them beauties there. So let's put them on the scale. And there we go. That is, we'll give that £18 for 4. So they're a bit bigger than what I thought they were, to be honest. Let's slip them back. And now for the big net. Now if there was £18 for 4 in there, I'm sure there's 9 in here. Oh yeah. Look at that lot there. Got to be honest, I think there's £50 in this net. They won't be far away anyway. Oh. Look at them beauties. Look at them, look. A full net of White Springs carp there. Get on the scale. Yeah, it's blinking £50 just in that net. £50 and a few ounces. So, with just our carp, we've got £68. I won't even bother weighing the silvers. I think there's 4 skimmers in there, so there's probably another £6 in there. So I think that's challenge complete. Can you catch £50 of fish on 60p a corn? No. You can catch £70 of fish on 30 odd pence a corn, because we've only used half a tin. So I hope that gives you some inspiration to get out. Don't have to break the bank. You can catch an absolute boatload of fish on absolutely no bait at all.